Hello and welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at Debaltsevo, Ukraine, which is a sort of current situation. Haven't written anything about it yet. It comes from the South Front site, and so what we have is sort of a map. Let me show you their map because it sort of looks easy. So here we've got the Ukrainian, what do they call it? The Ukrainian Armed Forces versus the Donetsk People's Republic. So the Ukrainian Armed Forces are sort of holed up here with this blue line. Which is sort of there, and then the Donetsk People's Republic, near the key town of Debaltsevo, which is there, hold sort of this line, sort of somewhere here. You see there's some lines there. I think the yellow line was presumably where they were, and so the Ukrainians have forced in these sorts of directions, but it's a bit misleading. If you read the article, it sort of says that Kiev forces supported by heavy artillery fire attacked DPR militia near the villages of Logvinovo and Kalinovka. Well, this is Logvinovo. Oh no, this is Logvinovo here. Logvinovo. So the names don't match up. Logvinovo. Oh, okay, Logvinovo and Kalinovka. Logvinovo and Kalinovka. So I actually thought they went this way, so I've given this one 15, 15, 10, 10, but they actually went this way. And then it says limited attacks by Kiev troops were also reported in Sanjarovka and Lozovo. So they also attacked these two places. So that sort of, it makes it easier on that map. Well, for me, because that's what I'm interpreting it as. In theory, my map is far superior. So we've got the objectives, but this one should actually be, in fact, hold on, let me do some magic. We've done the magic now. So there's the 15, 15, and these are both outliers at 10 each. And they both got infantry, artillery, infantry, artillery, infantry, artillery, but this one's only got infantry. Two lots of infantry back here and some mechanised infantry in support. Not a lot. Now they have got quite a lot of these mechanised units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The idea being that they can put at least one there, sending 5 down this way, but they don't really have a lot of excess infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 1, 2, so there's 2 in there. So they could send 5, 6, 7 infantry units. It depends what they want to do with these two places, but you know, sort of trying to play it relatively sanely instead of just forcing everything down to this. You know, you can make your choices. But I'm not sure how balanced it is, but they fail. Their attacks are sort of repulsed. I think the whole idea was that they would sort of come down here through these two places and take out Debaltsevo. I think that maybe another thing to bear in mind, it's probably all sort of semi-covert in the sense that they're probably what I call promenading. Is they're just sort of edging around, taking opportunities as opposed to a full-scale military assault. I don't know what it is. It's been reported and people are dying, so it's, you know, significant. Heavy clashes have erupted between the Ukrainian armed forces and the local militia. On the 18th of December, the Ukrainian armed forces launched a series of attacks against the militia units. So they were attacked, so they probably didn't want to actually really necessarily take these towns in earnest, i.e. pulverise them. They were probably just sort of slight skirmishes that were maybe a little more intense than that they've been having in the past. You know, I mean, the bottom line is it's clear that in this part of the Ukraine, which is held by the these militia units, and in this case the Donetsk People's Republic, as opposed to the other ones. I've never heard of that one before, but they're all sort of hanging around, aren't they? So, you know, there's conflict there, and obviously it's not Middle East, it's Europe. So there's still ongoing conflict in Europe, and you know, so it's one of these places that's not as well publicised, maybe because it's not as intense. But you know, it's a sort of place that could flare up, I guess. But still, you know. So I thought I'd do this one because there's obviously some activity there. But I don't think we should really overrate the activity. I don't think it's like a major difference. It's just something that's been reported and suddenly becomes something, you know, maybe a little different to what has been happening that hasn't been reported. But you know, I don't think this is sort of like a major advance. But I think basically the Ukrainians want to get rid of all these militia sort of self-proclaimed republics, parts of the Ukraine, but they're in the article the Ukrainian media blamed DPR forces for violating ceasefire and spreading reports about an offensive by Putin's mercenaries. I mean, I think they're backed pretty much by Russia, otherwise they probably would drive straight through it and get rid of all of them. But they're sort of, you know, the invisible hand of Russia in play somewhere. Anyway, let's maybe give it a play. So I'm just sort of trying to sort of use it as a sort of a model. So I don't want to just send everything down there because I'm afraid that I might just walk straight over it, because I don't think it's that sort of intense, whatchamacallit. Oh, I know. Yeah. Okay. There's a river. River. This is a bit of an exaggeration, but it's still sort of fairly impossible. So there's a river there, that's why I can't move. Yep, but the move will come to an end after that. When you cross these little streams, your move comes to an end. So that's that. I'm not saying much, am I? What I'm trying to sort of just hint at here is that they're sort of moving into a position outside of the these defensive areas, and I'm going to sort of not so much leave it at that, but I'm going to sort of create this sort of background of hanging around outside, at which point there would be skirmishes. So what they're sort of doing there, I'm not going to do the attack this turn. They're sort of skirmishing, so they're sort of I don't know what they do, but they're irritating the militias and probably artillery. There's probably small arms fire exchanges, mortars, rockets and silly things. This is the more strategic angle of it, but this is where they are. And I can't move any more here. I'm going to, and with this infantry into there, I'm going to keep this place defended because I'm trying to maybe be a little more sensible. So it's not so much going in this direction, but we've got infantry support over here, infantry support down here, artillery here. So we'll end that turn, and now it's the Donetsk People's Republic's turn. So obviously they can see all of this, and what I could have done with the last one was do some artillery exchanges, but I'm not going to bother with the artillery exchanges because I'm not going to get anything. I am going to revamp the artillery rules so it'll be a little more effective in these sorts of situations, but I never get around to it. But I will at some point. I'll leave that in there, I think. But obviously this needs reinforcing. So there's sort of build up there, and they've advanced the front lines. And I think that's pretty much what's happened. They probably haven't done a full-scale assault on these little places, but they're not actually. I don't think they're actually sort of light urban. They're probably just little towns. This is the sort of urban area, and this is really more of just a large town. I think I don't know anything about the geography of these places, but so this is probably a reasonable. Idea of what's actually happening. I mean, as far as the little report goes, and obviously they're attacking and things like that. But it's just connecting now, going around in circles. Okay, Ukrainian Armed Forces turn. So I'm going to harass that town. So we're now harassing that town. We're being a pain over here. Less than a minute left, so let's see whether we can take it. Huh, 1-to-1, attacker retreats. That's pretty much what happened historically. And look at the mess that they're in now. These retreat options, so they really need to somehow be organised. Anyway, so that's that. I just thought I'd do a little video toy about with the with state of play there. Remember, if you can do your own modelling,